By 2026, Watch Dogs 2 feels less like a rebellious hacker fantasy and more like a time capsule that aged a little too well, especially when you look at Marcus Holloway and what he actually represents once the dust settles. Marcus isn't just a smart kid who beat the system and rode off into the sunset. When you step back and really examine his actions, his victories, and the world he leaves behind, you realize his story is about how resistance movements evolve, lose innocence, and sometimes become part of the very structure they were fighting. Marcus starts Watch Dogs 2 as someone who's already been quietly damaged by the system. CTOS flags him as a criminal before he's even done anything truly wrong, and that moment defines everything he becomes. He isn't motivated by chaos or ego at first. He's motivated by correction. He wants the record fixed, the algorithm exposed, and the lie erased. That's important because early DedSec under Marcus isn't about control. It's about exposure. Every major operation is designed to embarrass corporations, pull back the curtain, and force the public to look at what they've already agreed to without realizing it. But by the time you reach the end of Watch Dogs 2, something quietly changes. DedSec wins. They take down Bloom's grip on CTOS, they expose corporate corruption, they turn followers into a measurable force, and Marcus becomes the face of a movement whether he wants to or not. In 2026, that's where the story really becomes uncomfortable. Because winning doesn't end the system, it reshapes it. DedSec's follower system is the clearest example of this. What starts as public support slowly turns into influence as currency. Marcus gains power not through money or weapons, but through attention, engagement, and numbers. In 2026 terms, that's algorithmic authority. DedSec criticizes corporations for manipulating people through data, yet they also rely on viral reach, public outrage, and mass digital approval to operate. Marcus doesn't abuse it maliciously, but the structure is there. Influence becomes leverage, and leverage becomes power. By 2026, it's easy to imagine DedSec splintering or evolving into something far less idealistic. Marcus himself is never shown to crave leadership, but movements don't stay pure just because their founders are good people. The tools Marcus normalized, mass doxing, public shaming, data leaks at scale, are morally justified in the game because the targets are monstrous corporations. But those same tools, once accepted by society, don't disappear. They get reused, recontextualized, sometimes weaponized by people with far worse intentions. Marcus's personal journey also reflects this shift. Early on, he's reactive, nervous, even playful. He jokes, he doubts himself, and he relies heavily on Cetera, Wrench, Josh, and Horatio to keep him grounded. After Horatio's death, that innocence cracks. Marcus becomes quieter, more focused, more willing to escalate. Not reckless, but resolved. By the end, he's no longer just exposing wrongdoing. He's actively dismantling systems and deciding which ones deserve to survive. In 2026, Marcus Holloway feels less like a victorious hero and more like the prototype of a new kind of power figure. Not a dictator, not a CEO, but a decentralized symbol whose actions ripple outward long after he stops typing. His biggest success isn't defeating CTOS. It's proving that control doesn't require ownership anymore. It requires narrative dominance. Whoever controls the story, the outrage, and the data flow controls reality. What makes this unsettling is that Marcus never intends for this to happen. He doesn't want statues, loyalty, or blind followers. But history doesn't care about intent. It cares about outcomes. Watch Dogs 2 quietly suggests that the real danger isn't technology itself, or even corporations like Bloom. It's how easily humans adapt to new forms of power once they're normalized. Marcus cracks the system open, but he also shows the world that the system can be rewritten by anyone clever enough. By 2026, that message hits harder than ever. Marcus Holloway doesn't just win. He proves that rebellion can become infrastructure, that resistance can turn into influence, and that even the most righteous fight leaves behind tools that never go away. And that might be the most honest thing Watch Dogs 2 ever had to say.